So the new Civil War trailer came out the other day, or yesterday, today, whenever it came out. It looks pretty awesome. We have most of the same stuff from the last trailer. A lot of the same characters. We have another clear profile of the teams, which is Captain America, Bucky, Falcon, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Ant-Man, against Iron Man, Black Widow, War Machine, Black Panther, and another character which I'll get to in a little bit, and possibly Vision, because there was one scene where Scarlet Witch was like hexing the Vision. But you know, that's all stuff that we've all seen in the last trailer. What I really want to talk about was Spider-Man. This is our first view of Spider-Man in the MCU, and I don't know how I feel about it. Some of you may know, if you've seen some of my other videos, that I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man since I was 6, so like 14 years of fandom for that character. But I don't know, I saw him in here. It was a cool scene in general. It was a very cool scene. We see him, Iron Man calls, "Hey, Underoos," and then you see a web snatch up Cap's shield and then tie up his wrists, and then he lands on a truck or whatever, you know, all crouched and posed with the shield in one hand. And yeah, in general, it's a very cool scene. I kind of wish I would have just got the surprise for the actual movie and not just in the second trailer, because you know there's going to be 2 or 3 more trailers coming out. The suit, the design of the suit, I think it's pretty cool. There's an artist named Alex Ross where he does very realistic drawings of comic book superheroes. So I think it kind of takes from that. It could have just been like the CG on the character that made it seem so smooth and resembled that, but also the design, like with the small spider, it's very it calls back to some of the older costumes before the millennia, like 60s maybe, 60s, 70s, 80s era Spider-Man costume, where it was just a tiny spider, and the rest of it, it's some new cool like stripes kind of designs on the forearm, the bicep, yeah, bicep. The costume itself is a pretty cool design. The eyes, a little bit too small. The retracting thing is pretty cool. In fact, the way that his eyes like opened up and closed like that through the mask kind of reminds me of Deadpool. I'm sure it'll be compared to Deadpool a lot, but I kind of wish the eyes themselves were bigger. And just the CGI, that's the thing, he looked so CGI, and it was just really bad. He looked so animated, and everything was just too smooth, and it just didn't look good. And now that I think about it, that scene in this trailer kind of looked like they just slapped on a Spider-Man skin to that old test footage that was leaked last year, a couple of years ago, of the Deadpool movie, and they just kind of reposed them. That's what it kind of looks like. That's how I see it. It's just too smooth and too animated looking. Like I said, the costume itself, it's a pretty cool design. I can get into it, but just in that scene, he just looks so animated in CGI. I just don't feel good about it. This is just a trailer. They, at least we hope, they are gonna touch it up for the movie. But at this point, I feel it's worse than the Green Lantern suit from the Ryan Reynolds movie, which I personally didn't really have a problem with until I saw the Blu-ray. But even then, I didn't think it was as bad as everyone was saying. But this, I feel it looks totally obvious. And I have hopes for it. I don't know if it's because he's crouched, he kind of looks bigger, but his stature, his body just looks too like mature, like too muscular for his voice. I mean, I know they're going for a younger high school, like 16, 17-year-old Spider-Man, and which the actor who plays him, I'll put the name down here below, he looks that age, he looks that young, but his voice is just, it sounds too high-pitched for the stature of the body shown in that scene. Like I said, it could be because he was crouched, that made him look a little bigger and a little bit more muscular, but I just think that his body didn't match his voice. Kind of threw me off a little bit. Like I always say, wait till the movie comes out. You can't really judge it just from a trailer, from a 5-second scene from a trailer. You gotta wait till the movie. Obviously, they're gonna finish things off. So I look forward to seeing it. He's not gonna be a big part of the movie as he was in the comics. So in this, so far from the trailer, he's on Team Iron Man, which is how he was in the comics. He started off Team Iron Man, and then he took off his mask in front of the cameras and everybody, and eventually switched over to Team Cap. I don't know if he was going to do that in the movie. He might, but it might not be made as big of a deal as it is in the comic storyline. He is going to get his own movie. I think they're going to call it Spectacular Spider-Man. The Spectacular Spider-Man or something like that, I think. Ultimate or Spectacular Spider-Man. He's going to get his own movie, 2018, I believe. So we'll see how it comes out then. But for now, this is our introduction to Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I have some pretty good hopes for it. So until next time, stay tuned.